Hey guys, welcome back to my run. Front mission first remake. Just continue on. Let's see what we got. Damn, I smoked too much dope, which is good. Okay. Okay.
file folders from the basement, and how did they get there, and what is that, and what were you doing around that time, and things of that nature. I want to encourage to be very careful. I don't want to get into specific, things while it's still in the classification process. But it is safe to say that, of course, the president knows when his son died. You have to ask the special counsel why he chose to die. And so you said that he told the special counsel that the criticisms of President Biden were inaccurate, gratuitous, and wrong. So how did the special counsel respond to this? Changes that were made in response to our very strong, forceful, and rooted in evidence arguments that we provided. You just mentioned how these interviews have been shortly after. So for some of the times the president mentioned it was eventually, does that mean that relapses happen because of destructive violence happening overseas, or do you dispute that he had any memory issues during his interview? I dispute that the characterizations that were in the report are accurate because they're not. And I think it's
Fuck you. She's got one life. What the fuck?
He's dealing with a huge international crisis of great global consequence, and he was trying his best to answer questions. In his interviews, there were no memory lapses. There's something important I think you should remember about the way that sort of interviews like this happen. God forbid, one of you guys ever have to get interviewed by a prosecutor, and I hope you don't. Witnesses are told, as I mentioned by special counsel, to do the best they can to recall or remember things. And they're not supposed to speculate. They want facts. They want facts and evidence. And so, I think probably in almost every you can imagine that people have said that they don't recall things because that's what they're instructed to do. So I think that's just important context to keep in mind. Lastly, in September, the president was asked about Trump's classified documents. You've got Mar-a-Lago. He said, quote, how could that possibly happen? How could anyone be that responsible? But there were classified documents found.
Excellent.
So would that be considered irresponsible? I think the president is aware that he gave everything back as soon as he found out that he had it. And so, I think that it's fundamentally incorrect to try to analogize the situation.
Two of them there.
And frankly, the report says that too. And the idea that he did anything except to be totally cooperative and to take
The
great
fuck out of there.
to ensure that the classified documents were returned speaks for itself.
Get you the fuck out of there. Hell yeah.
I saw the vice president's remarks. I thought they were very powerful. I talked about this a little bit at the top of our conversation here today. There's an environment that we are in that generates a ton of pressure because you have congressional Republicans, other Republicans attacking prosecutors that they don't like. And it creates...
Oh, shit. I forgot to heal him.
...determine that charges weren't filed. People are human and they're thinking through...
That's okay.
...what we need to do. And, it leaves one to wonder exactly why he did a lot of the criticisms that were in there. This is an issue that has plagued administrations of both parties for 50 years.
Fucking lucky.
Things get shuffled up and taken and removed. And the archives has, literally put a frequently asked questions page on their website about what you do if you find an accident. That's how often it happens. And, he gave them all back. As soon as he found out about it, we understand mistakes happen sometimes. I'm not going to get into sort of individual witness or parsing like that. Administrations from the past, half century or so had this accidentally happen. But you're parsing two things. You asked me about the fact that the report states this clearly. This was likely the result of illegal attacking by staff. And you asked exactly about the staff issue, and so I'm talking about the staff issue.
So what are the staff still working for the fire?
Well, I'm saying that the question you're asking about the frequency and normalcy, unfortunately, of mistakes like these being made, they happen. And what person responds to it? When we find out that there was a mistake that was made, give everything. That's exactly what was done. The president actually answered this question last night. I'm not sure which of you asked him, but he talked about his views on the appointment of special prosecutor, and I really like it. So,
two things I was hoping you could clarify. The report says that in 2017, the president told his first just found stuff downstairs. Why did he not report that out at the time?
well, and this is included in the report as well. If you read through it, the president was talking about a handwritten letter he sent to President Obama that he faxed to him about the Afghanistan policy in 2009, and he says, this is in the report that he's. And he said last night, I should have said sensitive. I should have said, really careful, the more careful language about that, because he was talking about something that was a personal, like a letter he sent to the president.
With his mind, it was sensitive, but what he said was.
And he talked a lot about how the president actually took great care when talking with his book writer to note things like, hey, I need to be really careful with some of this stuff. I'm not entirely sure about it. And so I think that that's important to realize. The report itself actually talks about what care he took with this sort of information as they explore all the theories and go through all the evidence that sort of refutes most of those theories, almost all, actually all of those theories when you think about the judgment that there will be no case in this matter. So, that's addressed in the report.
Second thing, the president also said last night, all the stuff happens in filing cabinets that would be believed or able to be lost. The report said that other there was, for example, an unseen bad damage sitting in his garage. So did the police do that?
Find a number of accurate allegations in this report. We've talked a lot about, Justin asked about the diaries, and this is his personal diaries. Of course, he has them in his house. I don't have anything to add on what he said last night.
I want to follow up on the Vice President's comment. She said, this administration's that this report was issued or there was a loaded position to
I think that you have to look at we talked about this at the beginning of our conversation today. You have a situation where former DOJ officials are talking about the political repercussions of these actions, and it's incumbent upon the prosecutor to take great care to follow departmental policy to not criticize unindicted conduct and behavior or characteristics, which we've seen happen in this case by former
DOJ officials. This White House right now is at the stance by this White House.
5 turns.
I heard the question the first time, and I think to object to what the vice president said, I thought she was powerful and forceful.
But also, just to follow up, his administration, as you said that Republicans are often accused
Excellent.
I reject that question. You see this, and it's in the report, a letter that the president's lawyer and lawyers' counsel's office sent to the special counsel to talk about the Department of Justice norms and policies that they see as being violated by some of the comments and remarks made in the report. And so, I think that that's a false equivalence kind of question, because what we have argued and what we continue to say and believe is that you're not supposed to make these sorts of things according to Justice Department policy. Even the president, when he ran, and you guys all know this because you've heard this, talked about how important it was to restore the rule of law. And he understands that. And he talked about this last night, to MJ's point, about to restoring those norms. And I think when we object to some of the gratuitousness in the comments that you're asking about, you know, we're, you already talked about the former Attorney General and the people who made those comments, you know, they are criticizing that this does not follow those norms. Yeah. The special counsel regulations that exist at the Justice Department govern the process that is supposed to happen here, and the Justice Department has its own sort of manual procedures. And you know, as you heard from those experts, you're not supposed to sort of criticize unintended conduct when you're making these determinations. You said a moment ago that the president was responding to inaccurate information with claims watch accounts. Is he entirely clear now at this point where all the documents were discovered? And does he now know his statements about the watch accounts is false? The report lays out in 400 pages of detail all of the evidence and all of the review that they conducted in looking into this matter. The president made sure that all of the classified documents that were found were returned promptly to the government, which is what you're supposed to do, which is why this is the inevitable conclusion that there is no case here. Now I asked though, does he know that his statement yesterday that those documents were behind locked cabinets was inaccurate? Is he clear in his mind? I know that last night was perhaps stressful confusing. I understand what you're saying. Specifically about the finance ghostwriter, and that was that after he learned that the special counsel began an investigation, he deleted some of his recordings that those recordings were able to be recovered. Can you say definitively whether or not the president or anyone else at the White House was in contact with his ghostwriter? This is in the report. In the report it says that they saw this, they looked into this, and that they didn't. So that's in the report. Thank you so much. Two questions. Just for clarity, from the White House counsel's office, correct? So you're not a lawyer, correct? That's correct. Spokesperson. Okay. Any chance we'll get the White House counsel to come out here and answer questions? Yeah, actually, I mean, come on. You can say something else. There has been a previous session. I was asked to come today by your colleagues in the press corps, and we happily obliged. As you know, former President Trump was charged with a slew of criminal charges related to classified documents in his possession, including counsel's willful retention of national defense information in his report. It's made clear by the special counsel that President Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified material kept in secure locations after his vice presidency, which presented, according to the special counsel, serious risks to national security. Can you explain to everyone about why it is that President Biden essentially is let off the hook, and former President Trump is now facing a slew of criminal charges, which seem to most people very significant? Great lineup, I mean, really good lineup. I talked about this already. Page 1, willful retention.
Machine gun.
15. There is, in fact, a shortage of evidence on these points. The report itself goes through in great detail the facts and evidence that led to the obvious conclusion that there was no case here. The report itself answers the question you're asking about the distinction between two cases, as you guys have heard us from the White House say for a long time. We're very careful about commenting on certain cases like that. Just, I would encourage you, perhaps all of you, Read the report.
And that's the reason why I asked that question. The reason why so many people seem confused because you hear willful retention of national defense information related to Trump, willful retention of classified material relating to President Biden, and yet one individual is facing criminal trial, being justice in full first order, and the other one is in justice.
And I think I've talked to many of the last 24 hours about this. The allegation that there was willful retention of documents is refuted by the evidence in the report. And the conclusion was made directly that the evidence does not support that claim. He explored the theory. It's in there on page 2. Everybody focus on it. I'm exploring the theory of willful retention, but that the evidence as a whole was insufficient because that's not what the facts show. Thanks very much.
Special counsel that did not result in violence.
Okay, thank you. I will say refer to the White House Special Counsel. Special Counsel, Legal Counsel. They came. Okay. Yeah.
This comes out of system.
So first of all, I would say nothing has changed. His position hasn't changed. I don't think his messaging has changed. We don't think his messaging has changed. He doesn't believe his messaging has changed. This isn't something.
Okay, so we're going to continue monitoring the White House press briefing. There's a lot to dig into here. We've got Carl Rove and Carrie Kubek standing by, General Kellogg as well. Ian Sams said that the president needs to get everything right in his handling of this classified document situation. We know that the special counsel in this report, John, found that Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials, including documents implicating sensitive intelligence sources and methods. Ian Sams declared that this information in the report was inaccurate, while he also consistently referred back to its accuracy in anything that worked in favor of the president. So there's a lot of big questions developing right now after hearing from the spokesperson for the president, for the White House Counsel Office. Did the special counsel lie then? Is that the implication from what we just heard from the White House? And is the president going to ask the special counsel, or Merrick Garland, to fire her? And what happens with Merrick Garland if this is entirely inaccurate?
Yeah, the way that he sort of cherry picked from the report was like one of those famous cafeterias in Texas where you can pick a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And with that, let's go to Texas. And Carl Rove. Carl, there's so much to talk about here. How were you struck by it? It was like 40 minutes and nothing to see here.
Yeah, well, I have two, step back for a minute, and I have two conclusions. One is that the ordinary American is going to sit there and say, I don't understand why President Trump was indicted and why President Biden wasn't, and they're going to be confused, and they may not see all the differences and the nuances that Mr. Sams laid out, and so this is going to undermine I believe, public confidence in the indictment of President Trump. The other thing that I'd say, and there are real differences, there are little differences between the two, but to the ordinary American, it's going to seem confusing. The second thing is we can't unhear what we've heard. And what we heard in the report was that President Biden has memory problems and cannot recall common details. And then we had the president's angry response last night in about a 16-minute long televised newser with the White House press corps, which made it worse, where he conflated, confused the president of Mexico with the president of Egypt, and said things that are very hard for us to get our hands around. He talked about how he'd been asked about when his son died, and said, I said to myself at the time, why the hell do they ask? It's none of their business. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. So we can't unhear what we've heard, and what we've heard is that all of our concerns that have led 3/4 of the American people to think that he's too old, and 2/3 of the American people that think that he lacks the acuity and sharpness and stamina to be effective as president, those things are going to simply be elevated by what we've seen and heard in the last 24
I don't know, if you're behind closed doors at the White House right now, Carl, I mean, I don't know. What does the president do next year? What does his team do?
Well, I was shocked, for example, that they put him out last night. Look, he's old. and he doesn't get better over the course of the day. So who told him he had to go out immediately, as opposed to coming out this morning when he's a little bit more fresh and could have a little bit more time to consider what he said. He just didn't look good last night, and it showed, and we saw it. So change the subject. But the problem is, in order to
Get
change
me
the
off
subject,
fire
you
on
have to
these
get the
guys.
president out there. Think about this. Last time we had him do a televised news interview, October. Last time he did a news conference, November, at the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation meeting, and he took 4 questions. He's not doing the Sunday Super Bowl interview that presidents have historically done. He won South Carolina. He didn't go out and declare victory. He announced that attacks were made, response was made to the Houthis. He didn't go out and talk to the American people about it. He ordered attacks on the Iranian proxies when they killed 3 American service people. He didn't go out and talk to the American people about it. But somehow or another, somebody last night said, you've got to go out and talk immediately about this. And whoever advised him on that, ill-served him. He should have taken his time, and we need to hear from him more on other things if he hopes to change the subject, and that may make the problem worse, not better.
Yeah, Carl, there were 2 moments last night when the president misspoke. There was the mixing up Egypt and Mexico when he talked about El-Sisi. But then there was also the boxes that were in the garage. And I think we got the picture of that we can put up. When the president said, everything that was found in my home was in a cabinet that was either lockable or locked. As we saw from the photos of the boxes in his garage, they weren't even locked with Scotch tape. So Ben Dominix thinks that this is just going to be a self-reinforcing process, where now every time that the president misspeaks between now and November, people will point back to this report and say it was right there in the 388 pages of this report, regardless of how Ian Sams is trying to speak.
Yeah, well, I agree with Ben. This is going to be a reoccurring problem. The problem existed, however, before the report came out. That's why we had, 3/4 of the American people saying too old, 2/3 saying he didn't have the mental sharpness to do the job. And Ben's right. This is going to continue to grow, and we're going to remember this moment. We're going to remember other moments. And every time this happens, and every time he makes a verbal miscue and demonstrates a lack of memory, and every time he sort of shuffles and shows a lack of strength, this is going to continue to be a problem that grows and grows and grows.
I mean, you just go back to the very basics here. And Ian Sams, basically referencing his staff that gathered up these materials, and this is how it ended up in his possession. I mean, we know that the DOJ report reveals that Biden willfully retained and shared highly classified information.
All right, we'll catch you guys next time, all right?
Intentionally take classified documents. Did not intentionally. I mean, let's go back to the basics of the classified materials having to be read in a skiff.